Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening, everybody? It's another edition to the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct on a Thursday night. Glad to be back in the seat tonight. Had a little dental surgery last week, so that would have been good being on here and talking and being in pain, man. In fact, we got a couple other guys on the crew on the disabled list, man, on the injured reserve list, man. But hey, they'll be good. They'll be back, man. But hey, glad to be back in the seat. Another fun-filled Thursday tonight. We got a lot of stuff to get into, man. We got hockey, NHL hockey. As you see, I'm rocking my Rangers hat. Yo, we down 0-1 to the Panthers, to the Florida Panthers, man. Hey, man, the Panthers are a different squad, man. They're a different team. Matthew Tkachuk, man, and them boys, they be hitting, finishing checks. They are good. Hey, since the last time we talked that my Knicks, they got eliminated by the Pacers. Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics, and they should have won the other night. We'll talk about that. We got Ryan D'Souza, our NBA contributor and insider. He will be along tonight to talk to us about the NBA and also the WNBA with Caitlin Clark, her Indiana Fever. They are 0-4. So we'll talk about all that stuff. But without further ado, let's meet the crew. Dan K, what's up, brother? How are you tonight?
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Yo, it's the Dan K. He's in the house. What's up, man? Shout out to my people, East Coast Gridiron. They checking in tonight, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow the East Coast Gridiron. Anything football-wise, they are it. I'm telling you right now, they are it. Breaking down film, all that stuff. Those guys, shout out to Deontay, who's their fearless leader, man. Thank you guys for chiming in, man. The DA, what you got today, brother? How are you?
Old. Let's go.
A man of very few words.
That's it. I'm
sometimes.
Yeah, I'm old. It's a good and bad thing. It's the gift and the curse.
Let me read this quick call to action. Hey there, Sports Chasers community. If you're enjoying the adrenaline pumping sports talk and deep dives into the game as we all love, here's how you can support the show and keep the action coming. First up, our YouTube family, if you haven't already, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the Sports Chasers podcast channel. Your engagement not only supports us, but it also helps spread the word to other sports enthusiasts like yourself. And for podcast listeners on the podcast side, tune in through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any other platform. Your comments and those 5-star reviews are gold. They really help in boosting our visibility and ensuring we bring more of this content that you love to you. So take a moment to leave your feedback. We read every comment. We appreciate lovers or haters, like D-Dub says. We appreciate your support. Lastly, don't forget to connect with us across all social media platforms. Search for the Sports Chasers Podcast on your favorite platform and engage with us. We're excited to build this community with you, share exclusive content, and get your insights on everything sports. Thanks for being a part of the Sports Chasers community. Let's keep chasing the game together. So let's go. Let's get it. So tonight, we do our Sports Chasers weekly recap since last week. Today is May 23rd. So everything that has happened from May 16th to May 23rd, we kind of do a little breakdown, a little rundown of what happened. So I'm going to go in order as I usually do. You know, we usually see what happened. And hey, on Friday of last week, I wake up, D-Dub texts me, say, hey, man, I'm Scotty Scheffler. I said, who, the golfer? He said, yeah, man, he got arrested. He got walked to jail for, looks like he had an encounter with a police officer. And long story short, if you haven't heard this story, basically they had the PGA Championship going on in Louisville, Kentucky. There was a traffic fatality. I don't know all the findings with it, but Scotty Scheffler, he was stopped by a police officer. Some are saying that he allegedly drugged an officer or whatever.
So he was on the hood like an ornament.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he was He was booked and he was charged. He had one felony count of assault on a police officer and 2 other misdemeanor counts. He was bonded out very quickly, I might add.
Yeah, the tea time, bro.
Yeah. on the felony count, they dropped him out. That's crazy.
Hey, we'll have a law enforcement specialist come talk to us about this here in a little bit. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know, if anybody's seen the latest video.
Yes.
And that dude was running beside the car and tried to smash out the window, and then he stopped. And so, from what I saw from the second video, he didn't drag anybody. I think, Billy Bob got a little excited. It's his power.
Billy Bob got excited.
Billy Bob.
That video, he didn't drag anybody.
So yes, there is.
I don't know if it was before that, but from what I saw, that they were like the big tour buses.
Yeah,
and one of them ran over somebody.
Yeah,
so that's the traffic stop. And yeah. I bet you what happened when this guy pulled, Sheffield pulled up and said, "Yeah, I got a tea time. What's up?" And they probably just said, "Well, hey, just go around the outside here and go around everything, and you'll be good." And that guy didn't tell the other guy that he sent him around. So he got all excited, tried to chase him down, thinking this guy's, trying to be bigger than everybody else. And it probably was just a miscommunication at the end of the day. But like I said, you watch that second video, man, I don't know where he's dragging him from. Unless he was on the other side of the car, hanging on the side of the car like, he's in a parade or some shit.
So the chief of police for the police department there, she had an official statement today, and the detective, he was a detective who was allegedly who made the arrest, who encountered Scheffler. He wasn't wearing his body camera, or he didn't activate his body camera, and he has been counseled, he's been disciplined about it, and because as a police officer, they're supposed to activate their body cameras when they're coming to contact. But as Dan said, we don't even know what happened, when did it happen, all that stuff. But, thankfully there was other video that captured the incident. Anyway, Scotty Scheffler, he goes on to shoot a nice 9 under in the Friday round. So it didn't bother him, it looks like. But he did not win the tournament. I got who won the tournament down here a little bit later, man. But that's what went on with that. Let me go down to the next story. I'm gonna say that for last because that is definitely gonna probably piss DA off. So I'll wait for that. I'll definitely wait for that. Yeah, no, I don't want to piss DA off because I want DA to stay around till 9:15 at least. Jalen Rose talks about NBA jobs being extinct from international players if the trend continues. He said this on Tuesday on one of his podcasts, or whatever podcast that he's on. Basically was saying that players like Jokic and my man from Dallas, what's his name? Well, I can't think of his name. That's a shame on me. Luka, how the international players are taking over the game. Well, you know what, NBA, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted, international play and stuff like that, and this is what you got. So shout out to the NBA for going through what they wanted to go through. So I don't know why, because
this expansion. I think I do believe that, like we talked Kev the other day. That's your brother. Maybe it's your brother.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jalen's probably right, but you have to understand that they do things a lot differently in Europe than they do here. Like, I know we joke about high school and college and kids going to class and whatnot. Just know that overseas, they dispense with all that bullshit. Like, you go to the academy and you just fucking play ball. Like, you would just play soccer. Like, Luka been a pro since he was 14. Like, you can't be a pro athlete in basketball in this country at 14 playing against men. Because if you could, No one would go to college and high school and make, the NCAA money. So
Right.
it's a totally different system. Like Luka wouldn't have went to college. We don't even know if Luka went to high school. He's been a pro since he was 14. That you can't do that here. So they're going to be better.
Right.
They're going, Wembyamba. He's been a pro for 3-4 years, and he's only 19. You have to understand, like, they are playing against men, and they may not be the best men in the world, but they're playing against men earlier, and they're not playing against scrubs. They are playing against pros. If you look at the ball kid, who went there, was 16 years old, stayed out there 2-3 years, came in the NBA Rookie of the Year. Blow, easy. As we say in the hood, easy work. Easy work, because of the way, over there you can just play. You can dispense with the BS of having, and I'm not saying it's BS because I think education is BS,
Right.
but I think people fronting that, you care about these kids' educations when, listen, you're just passing them so they can go ahead and get through and get out your class sitting in the back, in a small desk at 7 feet 8. They don't want to be there. You don't want them there. Other countries, they're not there. They're just playing. They wake up, layup class. Then it's run a few miles, and then it's this class. And then you get better at this, and you get better, you go play. Play against grown men. Then a lot of them played in America in college, but couldn't be pros in the NBA. So they go overseas. So they get some of that athleticism and game, And like I said, it is what it is, but it's going to be this way. And it started with the 92 Olympics, because that's what the Dream Team was actually about. It wasn't about winning. It was about growing the game internationally. And that's what it did.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I don't know why they're whining about it, though. Like, welcome to the rest of the, major sports leagues. Like hockey, you got European players, Russian players, Canadian players, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's not like, this is something foreign to sports. It's happening in every sports. They're just late at getting there. And football's kind of the same way. There's not that many. We have some like rugby players and stuff that have played or are in playing. Mm-hmm. But like baseball, same thing. You have all the international players, and like hockey, you got all the international players. So, I mean, you want to grow the game, and you bring in, you want the best players in the world playing in your league. Well, some of these players that probably shouldn't be in the league now aren't, or won't be able to play in the league, because the talent level is going to rise, because you have international players that are ready to step in and play at a young age.
Okay. And we'll finally get to have a real world champion.
Yeah, I mean, like what's funny to me in hockey is it seems like the U.S. born player count is going up in the NHL, where it used to be mostly Canadian and some international. Now it's probably, 25%, 30% international, probably 55, 60% Canadian, and then the rest are Americans. But, now that they've moved their development camp, all in the one place, and they all play together year round all the time, they're getting better. I think last year's draft, they had probably 9 guys from that team get drafted.
Wow.
So, so, I mean, it's, it's what it's become. Sports are now becoming, global.
Global. Yes.
Internet and everything else. People can watch these games, overseas, and, have aspirations of playing in, one of the 4 major sport leagues.
Right. And football, I think the last, and we joke about how they try to have the game in, Germany or Munich every year at some team. I still suppose that had they left the World League where it was at when it was back in the day growing with Kurt Warner and guys like that, it would be a far bigger sport overseas today. But, the NFL, for some reason, cut that off.
But that's coming back.
Yeah, it was.
They're gonna have a division in Europe.
They should. I mean, I would personally, I would start one with The Rock, with the UFL. I would start it over there, see what the appetite is, kind of test it out. I'm an IT guy, so I beta test things, right? I'm not going to build a stadium and no one's going to go, but I would, see how people want it, if they want it, and then we'll do it, man. We'll put one out there. What's up, E? The UFL or USFL, whatever the hell they're called. Put some European teams in that league out there and see how it, how it goes.
United
Football. I'd be doggone if you started with the NFL and it doesn't work, then that's a lot of wasted dough. It's a lot of wasted.
Yeah, risk and reward though. It takes
off.
off.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. Yeah, you're probably right there.
NFL's looking for new money.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Always, we must.
You're probably right.
We must move on to the news. We'll get back to this at another time. Good topic, but we must move on. Got a couple other things to come about. Daryl's probably going to love me on this one, man. Hey, competitive eater, Kobayashi, he retired from competitive eating. He says this: there will probably never be a competitive eater who comes close to achieving what Joey Chestnut has ever over the course of his career. However, there's one worthy foe who was able to give him a run for his money. That's Takaru Kobayashi, the Japanese legend who decided to retire from the sport after it managed to warp his brain.
Kevin.
It's gluttony.
You may disagree, and that's fine.
It's on ESPN doesn't make it a sport.
Because we all love to agree and disagree. But DA thinks it's not a sport. I think it's a sport. And hey, I look forward to watching my main man, Joey Chestnut, and Coney Island in Brooklyn. Shout out to Nathan's. Nathan's, you probably should pay us for this segment right here. Anyway, as they eat, some people say, "Oh, it's gluttony, it's whatever." Hey, man.
I just said it. He just said the word gluttony.
Y'all just said it. I just said it.
I said it. I'll own that. I said it. Stuffing 40 freaking hot dogs in your stomach. Come on now.
Man, but if we eat 2 hot dogs during the game, it's okay.
Hey, I will give him this. That's
Go ahead.
If you want to call it a sport, this is pretty much a sport that anybody can participate in. As long as you can get the hot dog in your mouth, you could participate. You don't have to be athletic. You don't have to run.
Let me.
Shout out to the angry one. Let the angry
one. I don't want to get us blasted, so I would just chill right now, man. But that's crazy. That is crazy.
It's not a sport. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree with DA, but man, everything is a sport nowadays.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Because it's on ESPN don't mean it's a sport. So.
Well, that's for sure. Because I got a couple other news items coming up here. Because it came
you got the Pillow Fighting League. Yeah.
Shout out to our NBA guy.
Tag. You ever seen the competitive tag they got? The dudes is jumping over things, under things. Tag on ESPN.
What about the dudes when they slap each other?
Oh yeah.
That's a sport or not, but I watch it.
That is straight. Yeah, it's not a sport, but I will watch that.
Well,
that's a callback.
I find that to be comedy. So.
Yep.
How you practice for that? Get on your wise nerve. Just let it slap you. That's how you practice for the slap league. Hey, honey, I'm not gonna bow. Okay, here you go. Good now, girl.
Roll your eyes at your mama, and if you survive, you on the show.
Yes, yeah.
Y'all are wild. Let me continue on with the news. DA, this should make you happy. MLB's Rob Manfred addresses future of robot umpire, says an ABS system could be introduced as challenge system.
Listen, I'll let you know the site on Instagram, and I will give them all the props, and they're going to shout me out, right, at some point in time, because I'm putting this stuff out here, and I don't care what nobody says, man, is the audit, the umpire audit on Instagram. You look at that stuff there, and the umpire auditor, it'll make you say, "What the?" Hey, Mama Warren, but it's a situation where you could just look at it, and like you'll see, like, and this is the funniest thing about sports. Why give us the box on the screen and not use it? That's the dumbest shit I have ever seen. Why do it? The whole world can look at the box. And listen, I've seen catchers frame pitches. I'm 54 years old. I say 50 years of my life. I've watched guys frame pitches. I've watched it. It's an art. But dude,
Yes.
we got balls that are so far outside, they're almost hitting the dirt in the other box.
Angel Hernandez.
Here you go. and dudes evidently just want to leave. Like they got a date that night. They're like, okay. And I mean, the pitcher, the batter, and the announcers, with all three are confused, like, oh, wow, strike. The pitcher turns around like, wow.
So no more framing the pitches. Do you have that?
Listen, it's if everybody is saying that wasn't a strike, and the ump is, there is a problem. But the biggest problem for that is that you can't have a camera because it's not like the NFL or NBA where you say, okay, we got how many strike calls do you get to challenge or whatever. Like it has to be all or nothing. Because if you're challenging, there's what? 9 times 3 times 9 is what? 27 at best. At very best, outs that you have a game. At very best, right? At 3 pitches apiece, we can keep doing the math, right? Extrapolate that. But the reality is, you can't have a manager, challenge because we'll be there 8 days. The game will last like 5 days.
You won't need the pitch clock.
Yeah, you won't need no clocks because we know, the game starts tonight at 8. It ends tomorrow at 4 or 5 in the morning. So the reality is that it has to be all or nothing. So baseball, your umpires, that you're paying full-time dough to, it's their fault, and that's what you get. That's all.
Well, let me just read this real quick.
I'm sorry, Kev.
You're good. So they're looking to put in this ABS system, but Manfred is talking real brief till probably after 2025. So, hey, shout out to Angel Hernandez. God bless the dead. Eric Gred. I don't know if y'all remember that playoff game between the Marlins and the Braves when he was calling everything outside. It was awful. Yeah, that was pretty awful, man. Let me move on to the next story real quick because we got a lot to get into. Hey, the NCAA says here, according to CBS Sports, how looming House versus NCAA settlement will impact college athletes, athletics, and on and off the field for years to come. A major turning point in college athletics is about to come to fruition. The historic House versus NCAA case is a few steps away from settlement, which will fundamentally end amateurism as we know it. For the first time, schools will directly share a portion of revenue with the athletes. Scholarships and roster rules are expected to change. Major athletic departments will help pick up a massive check and back damages. Most significantly, the case will help provide some legal protection for college athletics as it heads into the future of the NIL era. Once all Power 5 conferences and the NCAA Board of Governors approve the settlement, it will head back to the plaintiffs for approval. Then the full group will go in front of a judge to formalize the settlement and institute it. This process could take several weeks. And they talk about the Big Ten, SEC winning again. We probably just have to double back to this because there's a lot to unpack this. But this came down probably about an hour ago. We started sending to one another in the chat. And we'll probably just have to get it just real quick. The NCAA settlement is projected at nearly $2.8 billion over the next 10 years. The NCAA will take on 40% of the total cost and 60% coming from holding distributions to Division I institutions. So there you have it with that. That was a couple of things with the Chase's weekly recap Two of it is basketball. We will address it when Ryan is up with basketball. Let us move on to Major League Baseball. The power rankings. Dan, your man from what's his name? He pitched today.
Skeens, Paul Skeens.
Man, that boy, he's lights out, man. Nobody can hit that guy, man.
They ruined another good outing by him by blowing it.
So,
how old is he?
21, 22.
21.
Yeah.
Hey, remember?
7 more years he'll be a
I told you
Yankee.
about him this summer. They didn't tell you about him. Just mentioned it to you. You knew who he was, but he was damn new this summer. But yeah, he was definitely on the watch for the young guys for that team. He won't be there 2 years from now. He'll be in Yankees. So.
Let me go over the MLB power rankings real quickly before we get into hockey and basketball. The Phillies are number 1. They're 37-14. The LA Dodgers are number 2, according to CBS Sports. The Yankees are 35-17. They're number 3, according to the rankings. The Orioles are number 4. The Braves are number 5. Shout out to my pops Guardians. They are number 6. They're moving up the ladder. They beat up the Mets over these last couple of days, man. I thought the Mets were coming, but I guess not. Whatever. The Kansas City Royals are a real surprise. They are 32-19. They're number 7 on the list. The Brewers, they are 28-21. I don't know if anybody saw Christian Yelich steal home plate. Like, who does that, man? The other night against who else? The Marlins.
Christian Yelich, another guy the Florida Marlins just gave up on. I swear, man, if the Florida Marlins would just keep their players, they would have had like 5 championships by now.
That is no cap.
That's not the business model there.
You're in the same boat as me, bro.
Yeah, that's not your business model, homie. They're there to win one, sell the team, wait another 5 years, win one, sell the team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
sorry for interrupting you, bro.
No, you good. I just happened the other night. I'm watching, and it's like they throw the ball back to the pitcher, and here comes Yelich barreling down from third base, and he steals home. I was like, wow. Anyway, the Mariners.
He's not Ricky Henderson.
No, he's not. The Mariners. They took 2 out of 3 from my Yankees. They are in 9th place on the power rankings. The Rays are number 10. Cubs are number 11. Twins are number 12. The Padres are number 13. Texas Rangers number 14. Hey, Ryan, your Astros have improved a little bit. They are number 15 according to the power rankings. Red Sox are number 16, and I will definitely stop there. That's the MLB power rankings according to CBS. Like I said, the rest of the show will be devoted to hockey and NBA and WNBA. And Dan's up next. I got my Ranger hat. Let me tell you a little personal story last night. So I went out. I'm in South Florida. Those that don't know, I was hanging out in South Florida and went to a bar restaurant in Sunrise last night. Not about less than a mile from where the Panthers play. So I go in with this very hat last night, and I wasn't received very royalty, but it was okay. It was okay. I think I was gonna Rangers gonna get this victory tonight. We gonna do this thing. Go ahead, DA. What you got?
Real quick, we got a new heavyweight champion.
I'm sorry.
The Gypsy King.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right, DA. Thank you.
And
boxing.
I tell you, boy, heavyweight boxing is something else. Good fight. I think in the eighth round, used to caught him with a left. And after that, he kind of pounded him out in the 9th. And, I think he put him out of misery the next round. But, the heavyweight division, I think this may be a good thing. You may have guys that look like they are actual fighters that are coming, to fight in shape, at least looking like they want to fight. And he's won his way to where he's at. So I got to give him big ups. He won the Cruiserweight Championship, and he won the Undisputed. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
My bad. I said I like everyone in the heavyweight division is so old. It's like boxing. Everybody's in the heavyweight division, everybody's 35, 36. You had the Klitschko brothers who was in their 40s and
it's
dude, there's nobody in their prime. Yeah, where's the 20-year-olds? The mid late 20-year-olds in their prime guys. Where's that?
We could talk about that forever. It has a lot to do with, I would believe, the management, the fight game, getting good fights, and you're amateur for so long, and you don't really have big guys. America doesn't really have a lot of good big guys in the amateur ranks anymore. It's not what it used to be back in the 80s and 90s. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot to be, guys
Sad.
don't get to be in pros at 19, 20 years old anymore and fighting fights because you got to wait. You only get a fight every year, once a year. So you'll be like 27 with 7 fights. So it's like you don't have the Mike Tyson when dude is fighting a dude a month, man. Just to get that work in. You don't do it because you don't make the money. So it has a lot to do with that. And but this cat here, he worked his way up. Cruiserweight champ, light heavyweight, and then heavyweight. So I give this guy a lot of props, man. It took him 3 years, I think, almost to get this fight with this fool that he knocked out. So big ups to him. And hopefully we can get a young guy to challenge. I think it'll be the Oriental guy. I mean, he's pretty good too. So that's it.
I apologize for skipping over boxing. I thought I put it in my notes there.
No, it's fine, brother. That's what we hear.
Shout out to shout out to D Dubs. He was in the comments. Like I said, he told me to mention boxing. Let me. And I don't know if you guys saw the fight or this. I'll call it an ordeal. I was hanging out in North Carolina last week with D Dubs and last weekend, and he put the fight on. Right, this fight literally started at 12:30. I'm not lying, right?
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So Ryan, you watching it too, right? And I go do a little something and come back. I said, D, when's what's his name fighting? Nah, Kev, he's coming on real soon. He said, I said, all right, cool. I go back doing something on the computer, doing some sports chasers work, trying to make us shine and whatnot. Hey, sportschasers.podcast.net. Make sure y'all check us out. Then I go back. I say, yo, D, when's the fight going to start? When's the main card? Oh man, yo, this is undercard. I said, there's like 8 of them, bro. I said, when are they going to begin? Finally, family, they want to go to dinner, man. So I was like, I'm out, man. Yo, we got to go, man. I said, yo, this is 5.5 hours of undercard. What? How many was? How? He said he's in the comments. He said there was 8 fights. That about took me out and took me over. I was like, man. I mean, some of them were entertaining, but I was like, gosh, that usually what? Ryan, you're more versed with this DA. There's usually what about 3 or 4 undercard fights in a regular in a boxing match, so to speak. Sometimes 4. Okay. Right, yeah. I thought it was me. I was like, well, damn,
for the most.
When is the main event? And then I probably might get in trouble for this. The crowd over there in Saudi Arabia, where were y'all, man? Where was the juice at, man? Maybe it's just me. Ryan, did you feel the same way?
Yeah, it was lackluster.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. See, I know.
Yeah.
Right, that's why Ryan's my dude.
It was yeah. I'm getting the idea they're trying to not copy, but UFC has a bunch of undercards before the main event. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it felt like a UFC promotion in a sense.
Thank you.
So
the most the UFC fight will last is 25 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
That's a 5-minute rounds with the only championship fight. Everything else, I think, is 3 rounds. 3-minute rounds.
3 rounds.
It's 3 rounds. Only the championship or the main event. Or
Yeah. Like I said, some of the undercards was very entertaining. I was like, man, well, damn.
Well,
so
let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Jump off to the boxing heads, man. Yo, man, we got Zhang versus Wilder coming up. I believe June 1st, man. What y'all thoughts? Shout out to my man Zhang. He's been coached by my man Sean George, man, from Brooklyn, man. I know that, man.
Shout out to Sean George. Yep,
yes,
that's
sir.
right.
Yes, sir. So what y'all think, man? With you boxing heads, man? Is Wilder going to get back to glory?
Knock Wilder out because Wilder has no legs. So I think this would be light work.
Wow.
And the thing is with Wilder, like he started so late in his career. He, like I said, all these old heavyweights. He was like 30-something years old when he started. I'm like, well, how he's got to be pushing at least what?
Yeah, he's getting
40?
40. Yeah, he's
like it's ridiculous. Like maybe 38 or something like that. It's crazy. Like enough of these.
Yeah, I think Zhang is the big guy to fight Usyk next after he gets done with Wilder. So I think he's gonna Spencer Wilder, and then
the only thing heavyweights always have a chance because they all pack a heavy punch, but his punch is heavy. So
yeah, you just got to leave your left hand like in your pocket to get hit right.
Correct, exactly, yeah.
Wilder is 38 years old.
38 years old. That's crazy. I feel like I don't know.
38 when dudes used to retire from boxing.
Right.
But been retired, so.
Well, D-Dubs is saying Wilder's trash, no technique.
No technique.
And D-Dubs is our other boxing aficionado on the show here.
It's just a jab and a straight right. If he catches you, that's straight right.
That's what you're going to do.
Jab, boop, it's so basic. Jab, straight right.
Okay.
And if you lean on him, then like the DA said, if you lean on him, he has no legs. So that's what Tyson Fury did in those 3 fights. He just leaned on him.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not Yeah, it's just the game is a bad game when dudes like that get to be stars in it. You don't have
and Fury can box at his size. He's a technical boxer at his size. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He gets hit with that overhand left, and then
he's gonna jab you.
Yeah. Shout out to the Angry One. Thanks, E, for bringing that up. So we're gonna move on to the National Hockey League playoffs. As I was saying, I was hanging out in a bar in Sunrise, a bar and restaurant in Sunrise. Ryan said he was in Plantation, and when I instantly walked in, I got these looks and these hisses, and hey, we're gonna beat you and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, whatever. So I went and hung out with a couple dudes that I know. Brian and Mike, man, it was good hanging out with them. They're Panther fans. Hey, good game last night. Of course, the Rangers, they fell on the short end of the stick, so to speak. I just was talking to these guys earlier, to the DA and Dan, how the Panthers finished every check last night. So Rangers, whatever y'all have for Carolina, well, you better bring your AAA game because Florida ain't playing. I'll give it to Dan. He's the hockey dude. Go ahead, Dan.
All right. First, we'll just recap how the 4 teams or the 4 games, the series, how they got there. So, like you were saying with Florida, they beat Boston 4-2, and that's what they did to Boston. They just finished. That was probably the most hits in a series in a long time between those two, and they just wore them down. Marchant got hurt for a couple games. They were beat up, and they really just didn't have anything for him. And then I don't know what to tell you, bro. 3-1 going to the third period. Just send it back to MSG, and you let Chris freaking Kreider score a hat trick in the third period.
That he did.
At least he didn't go skates first into the goalie. I give him credit. But yeah, Carolina, they blew that game.
I hate Dan.
Hey, that's his MO, bro. But yeah, so Rangers, like all these series went 6 games except for the Edmonton series. But the Rangers won 4-2. And then Dallas, they beat Colorado 4-2. And the Avs really didn't have a whole lot for them. And then Edmonton took it to Game 7. And we talked about this, Kevin. I don't know what Vancouver was doing, but apparently they hit the snooze bar on the alarm clock and didn't show up till the third period because they got outplayed the first 2 periods. They lost, I think it was 3-2.
Right.
So they did make a game of it. And what's interesting is if Vancouver would have won that series, I think that would have been the first time all 4 top seeds would have been in the conference finals.
Let me add this too, Dan. I heard this morning how this Final Four team that's in it, this will break like a bunch of droughts. Like the Panthers have never won the Stanley Cup. Rangers have not won in 30 years. Dallas has not won since 99. And Edmonton hasn't won since, what, 90? No.
Probably Gretzky's last year there.
So I think I heard 90. So there's a bunch of droughts that any of the last 4 teams that's left in the playoffs here in hockey, some droughts going to be broken. So
yeah, it's 25 plus.
Yes,
for all of them. But the one thing I want to talk about real quick, and usually I don't harp on this stuff too much, but as you know, I watch a lot of hockey, and I've watched a lot of playoff hockey.
No,
and I don't understand Toronto and the reviews that they're doing, because like even some of the penalties, like who is it, Laco? I think 94 for Boston in the Florida series, I think it was. He was going to the net, and what's his name? Number 5, the defenseman, literally grabbed him around the neck, tackled him into the goalie, and they called the penalty on the Bruin player. I'm like, how's this man supposed to stop when he's getting choked? And it just stuff like that. And then Pettersson for Vancouver, he was at his blue line at a standstill, and the Edmonton player came to hit him, and all he did was kind of hop in the air to absorb the hit, like a reverse hit. And he got a charging penalty without moving. That's not possible.
Even last night when the goal got disallowed.
Oh, I'm getting to those.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'll get to those. But I want to say Florida and Boston, I think it was Coyle that was in the crease beside the goaltender. Reinhart cross-checks him, pushes him into the goalie. The puck's laying in the crease, and he shoots it in. And Boston, they call for a challenge, and they say, no, it's his own player that hit him. Well, how did he hit him? He got pushed into the goalie. So that goal shouldn't have counted. And then it was the other night in the Dallas-Colorado series, the game that went overtime. I think it might have been the last game, game 6. But Marchment for Dallas took a shot in the slot and beat the goaltender. And the dude for Dallas was outside the blue crease, so he wasn't in the goalie's area. He lightly bumped the stick of the goaltender as he was getting pushed by Makar, the defenseman for Colorado. And Makar's the one that hit his own goalie. Disallowed the goal.
Yeah, it made no sense.
And I'm like, how? Like Marchment or the player for the Dallas didn't push Makar into the goalie. Makar was trying to push him to the side of the net and went through his goalie to get him.
Right.
Which was complete bullshit. And then there was another one where the player actually took his stick and hit the goaltender's leg pad and pushed it back, which kind of turned the goaltender. And they said that the goalie he got reset, but meanwhile the stick got knocked out of his hand too. And it, just like they're not consistent whatsoever. And then you go into case in point the other night where they called it the second goal back by Florida. And like, yeah, did he bump him? Barely. Not enough to, like, that shot's going in anyways. And it's just like, there's no consistency. And like, you had the same 2 things happen were virtually the same. One got called a goal, one didn't get a goal. I mean, as a coach, you go into these series and it's like you're trying to determine, looking at video replay, hey, I should probably challenge this or not, because if you're wrong and the goal counts, now you put them on the power play. So you got a chance of going down 2 goals real quick. So to me, they just need to get the consistency, because it takes me back to way back in the day when if you were standing in the blue paint at all, the goalie could be on the far side of the net, nowhere near you, and you could be on the opposite post and have to like extend your stick to touch the goaltender, even though your foot's in the crease. If you tip the puck in, it was no goal. That was the rule. If you were in the blue paint, no goal. And lo and behold, the Stanley Cup Finals, I think it was Dallas last time they were there against Buffalo. Brett Hull scored a goal. And guess whose foot was in the crease?
Bro.
Good goal. Even though there's a rule saying if your skate is in there at all, it don't count. It just that kind of shit just drives me crazy. It's just like, just be consistent. Like, if you don't want any physical contact with the goalie, then they're all waved off. Or you want the goaltender to fight for a space while he's, outside. If he's outside of the crease, he's fair game. He's not protected there. I just wish that they would get that consistency.
Yeah, it almost reminds me also of Major League Baseball, what it's blocking rule with catches now, right?
Yeah, it's all subjective.
It's all subjective. It depends on who's calling balls and strikes. God knows if it's Angel Hernandez there calling the blocking play, you don't know what you might get, man. It's all subjective. So if if an umpire, or like you said, a linesman or a referee, they're like last night. I try to be as objective as I can. Yeah, I was shout, yeah. They just continue to go, but I was like, that was nonsense. Because to me, he was pushed by
was it Truba?
Right. And so that's what made the contact. And I was like, well, wow, that really shouldn't be. But they called it, they disallowed it. And as you said, and as the DA always been shouting since I've known him, hey, just be consistent. And if you have the tools to use it, why don't you use it? If you have a box on the screen, just use the box. As the DA says nothing as he shakes his head. Go ahead.
Hey, you got instant replay. Why not look at the little thing and see if you're right or wrong? That's all.
They don't want to use it because it'll call out certain individuals.
That's not my fault.
I know, but that's all I'm saying. But I do want to give a shout out to Vancouver.
Yes.
Their third string goalie, Arturs, I think it's Sheloffs. He made 26 saves in that game that they lost 3-2 in Game 7.
Right.
That dude, he came in and like they had no business being in that round, because I believe he came in the Nashville series and they ended up winning that series 4-2. And they took it to Game 7 against, the powerhouse of McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman. So, yeah, I mean, give that kid all the credit in the world. That's a hard shoes to fill when you're coming in behind Demko. And then Casey DeSmith got hurt too. So, kudos to him. And, see where he ends up next year, because, depending on who Vancouver, if they keep him, or, depending on contracts, if he has to go. But he's going to be playing somewhere in the NHL next year.
Gotcha.
But we'll get into your game, the Ranger game. And, you called me before you got to the bar. We had our little discussion, and I told you he ain't playing the Caps no more. He ain't playing Washington no more. And I'm kind of confused a little bit about what the Rangers lineup was. And I always say that because you had this phenomenon, Mr. Knuckles come up, and Rempe, kind of ignited the garden, got the crowd into the game when he played. And he's not terrible. Like, he can play the game. But to me, you're going up a team that likes to, ask Trocheck how the train felt when he was trying to go out through the blue line. And Mr. Chuck, decided to meet him there. That's where he's a deterrent. Because if you're going after the Rangers, Florida goes after the Rangers good guys, guess what? We got somebody that's 6'8", 250 that, is going to Windex them along the glass. And I get it, because they brought, Phil Petal came back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, somebody has to sit. And then I think Wheeler's close to coming back for them. So that means somebody else is going to have to sit.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes, it's a good problem to be healthy. But I would have liked to seen him get, because he's only going to play like 7 minutes of the game anyway.
Right.
But he's that guy that keeps the other team honest. And, Florida came out gangbusters first 5 minutes. And like I said, the Rangers, they hit snooze. They woke up and, about halfway through that period. And they played a little bit better the second half of the next 5 minutes. And then they killed a penalty, which, got them some momentum. What was it? Schneider, the defenseman. I'll say this. Like, they only had 12 shots in the first 2 periods. But they had some grade A chances of those 12. Like the defenseman Schneider, he had a breakaway. And is it Cooley?
Cooley hit the post.
Well, no, that was Schneider that hit the post.
Schneider hit his post, excuse me.
Yeah, Cooley just kind of put it right in the middle of the emblem. But, like, if you're Florida, like, you played a great game, but you want to clean that kind of stuff up because, if they're, like, in the regular season and the shootout goes 10 shooters, Schneider and Cooley aren't going to be your first 10, one of your first 10. You know what I mean? So the guys that got them, I'm sure they were like, whew. It wasn't Zibanejad, it wasn't, Kreider, Panarin, the superstars.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. So, and like I said, that game was 1-0 until I think 4 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Until Lafreniere decided to do what was it? Was it Smith from Edmonton? Way back in the day. Yeah, oh yeah. I tell you what, that was a nice tip, right 5-hole. Like, goalie had no shot. And Shesterkin's a great goaltender. But yeah, he didn't even get a piece of it. And that, so you're down, what's that, 2-0. And I believe at that point, once they won the face-off, they pulled the goalie.
Right.
And they had 12 shots in the third period, but I would be really guessing probably 8 of those shots might have been in the last 4 minutes.
So they had that little fury at the very end, around the 5-minute mark, where I was like, okay, they kept the puck in the Panthers in. I said, all right, we're going to get one. They kept on taking shots and kept on and Ron shaking his hand because because you saw the momentum shift a little bit. And I was like, well, damn it, we can't get this damn puck in on Brovsky, man. I was like, wow.
Having a 2-point lead is like having a 5-point lead with that dude. That dude's saving everything, man.
Yep, so true.
But like, the thing with that is if you look at like 4 teams that are left, what part of the ice are they strongest at? Down the middle. So your best angle to score is in the middle of the ice, because if you're in an angle, the goalie can take up more space by just turning his body, and that's why you see them working on that pregame, where they're doing warm-ups. They come out to a certain spot, stop, and make sure, all right, got everything covered, center, and then over. So, Florida did a really good job of keeping them out of the middle of the ice. They kept everything to the sides. They really didn't give any seam passes, cross ice seam passes up. And it's going to be a long series for New York, if they don't figure it out, like how to generate offense. Because did they even have a power play? I want to say they did.
Yeah, they had a power play. Yes. The Panthers killed it. I believe they had 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were 0 for 2.
Yeah.
And they really didn't get anything, too much off of those power plays as far as shots.
Ryan, you about to say something?
Yeah, like from the outset of the game, the Panthers just looked like they were just ready to play, and the Rangers weren't. You know what I mean? It looked like they were, I was gonna say running in mud or skating in mud, whatever. I don't know what the term is for NHL. But yeah, but it just looked like the Panthers was just on all cylinders as far as like with their physicality. They look more physical. So I don't know. So it just looked like me watching it as a novice hockey fan. It just looked like Florida was popping off the screen when the Rangers weren't. That makes sense.
But that's their MO. Like, they are a very physical team. And they will not pass up a chance to hit you. And, you know, I think New York's going to have to figure it out that they
got to match that physicality.
Not stoop to their level, but
right. But not
if you have the opportunity. So basically, what most teams try to do, like, you watch some of these games now, and you see how the other, you know, the team that has the puck coming up, the defending team, they clog up the middle of the ice. So you can't really skate it in. You got to dump it in. Well, when you dump those in, you got to put it to a spot where, one, the goalie can't play it because both of these guys can handle the puck.
Right.
And then, two, when the defenseman does go back to get that puck, you got to hit him. That first forechecker in. See, that's the thing, is you got to make that entry pass like quick and crisp when everybody's moving. Because if you hold up, you dust the puck off and hold it for a minute, then everybody's stopped. You dump the puck in and you can't catch, you know, the defenseman has an easier time going back and getting that puck and getting it out quickly. But yeah, the Rangers got to get more physical. And to answer D-Dub in the comments, his ass was in the press box. I mean, that's where he was. Him, Ruedel, Wheeler. I'm trying to think who the other one that they scratched.
I think Lavalette is trying to figure it out. Like Ryan made a good point. The Rangers did come out flat. I felt it last night. I thought, I was like, okay, where's that? I said you kind of felt the energy in the building in MSG last night too. It was like an air of concern. And once they scored that first goal, like Ryan said, it was like being down 3-0 because Brovsky is a beast. If not the best goalie in the league, you know, he is. And man, it was just. And D does say stay out the penalty box. Yeah, but
they were in there 3 times. I mean, they really didn't get anything off it either.
Yeah, they didn't get anything off either. Right, correct.
Maybe a little momentum, but you know, I would say the thing with the Rangers, you know, like when they decide that they're going to play physical, and it's like you got to understand they just played 6 games against Carolina,
right?
That play completely different than the way Florida plays. So now you're in a new series. Like by the end of probably the series, the Rangers in Carolina, guys aren't liking each other all that much. There's more animosity. You know, there's more on the line. You know, one team's playing to keep the season alive. And Carolina's more of a fast-paced team. Like they're a high-volume shot team. Florida, they're just physical, and they'll grind you out, and they'll take their opportunities. They don't need 40 shots to score 4 goals. They can score 3 goals on 26 shots or whatever. So it's this feeling out part. You know, that's game 1. Now they know, oh, shit, these guys are coming out. They're hitting us. You know, we got to be ready. You know,
right.
We got to start hitting back, you know, because I'm getting tired of getting my face planted into the glass. And Florida got to be wary too, because you never know when. See, it's kind of interesting because you got Sam Bennett that played for Calgary. So he used to play for Calgary. You have Trouba. I believe he played for Winnipeg Jets at one point, and these two went at it. But these are like, as I like to call them, the rats. These are the troublemakers. These are the guys that play on an edge, and if you put yourself in a bad spot, they're going to take advantage of it and they're going to drill you.
Right.
And not think twice about it. You know, like I showed you the picture 2 weeks ago of Trouba spearing headfirst into the boards. You know, he was trying to put Nikos into the 3rd row, and because he knew he was in a bad spot. But that's this series is going to be really interesting because
I agree.
If Florida steals 2 in New York, that's going to be a long road to hoe when you got to win in like 4 games. And now they got home ice advantage on you.
Yeah.
And that Florida arena that Panthers arena going to be crazy.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if here I forget which game it was, but they were down like 5-1.
Yeah.
It was like 3 minutes to go, and all you could see was empty seats. So please stay for the full.
Oh no. That's one thing about Florida fans. For any team, they're not staying. There's so much stuff to do in South Florida. They're not staying if it's a blowout. Listen, they let Florida fans, the Miami Heat fans, left with 2 minutes left in the NBA Finals in Game 6 when they're only down by 4 points and thought they lost, and they were leaving, and they ran back to try to get back into the game when they found out the game was tied.
That show said no.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, Florida has the they're so filthy. They're the I don't want to call
kind of like the Panther fans.
Right, yeah. I don't want to call them
the other Panther fans here.
Oh yeah. They're front runners, man. Yeah.
I think this series will probably go 6.
I got 6,
possibly 7. If New York wins Game 2. Now on the other side, we got Dallas and Edmonton, and
which is about.
I don't know. Yeah, they're probably getting ready to drop the puck right now.
Yes, they are.
But here's my thing. Dallas got some really good defensemen. Jake Ottinger, he's Vezina worthy. You know, and they got Sagan and Ben, and this Wyatt Johnson kid. I watched him in the one series that they played prior, and he reminded me a little bit of the Johnson kid that played for Tampa when they were winning all those cups. You know, very good.
Strong praise.
Yeah, he's very good, and they got some other young cats that are playing that are very good. But like, yeah, Wyatt Johnson, Jason Robertson's very good for them. But basically, Edmonton's top heavy. You know what I mean? They're a little bit like Toronto in the sense that McDavid and Draisaitl are making a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
You know, and then they got Nurse and they got Bouchard on the defense. You know, this series to me it's going to come down to Skinner or Pickard. They're going to have to play the lights out to beat Dallas. I just don't think that
they got enough.
I don't think that Ottinger is going to play that bad for them to win 4 games out of the 7.
So East or West is the better series?
East. They're both great, but like the Dallas series with Edmonton, I think this is it'll have physicality, but it's not going to be anywhere near what Florida, the Florida and the Rangers do. Yeah,
they're not built for any of that smoke. So.
I mean, they got Kane. You know, it's like you got Hyman, Draisaitl, and McDavid, and you still got Nugent Hopkins and some other guys for them. But like I said, I think Dallas defense is better. I think their goaltending's better. I give the Oilers the forwards. I'd say their forwards as a whole are better than Dallas. But I don't know. I just see because what's crazy too is they show this stat. I think just about every year, depending on what team they're on. But like Pavelski, I think is it Ryan Suter, the defenseman. These guys, I don't think have won a cup, and they've got like, I know Suter's got to be pushing close to 15 plus years in the league. Mm. The same with Pavelski; he's got probably like 16 years or whatever. So like, there's some guys that have been around a long time that have never won, that have an opportunity to accomplish that this year. So, and they're both on Dallas. So we'll see. Like that series, it's all really going to depend on Skinner and Pickard for Edmonton, how they play, and how Edmonton play in front of them to be able to limit, the scoring from Dallas.
That's all you got, Dan, for hockey? Couple of coaching changes real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was going to touch. So, we all know my favorite, north of the border, Toronto Maple Leafs. They fired Sheldon Keefe.
And then he picked up.
So first Toronto replaced him
right
with Craig Berube, used to be with St. Louis, which to me, that's going to unfold a chain of events in Toronto that might actually really, really help them. I think Mitch Marner's days as a Maple Leaf are over because he went completely invisible in the playoffs and just didn't seem like he cared to be there. And he's going to correct some of that undisciplined stuff where they're going to play better defense. They're going to play harder because he's just not going to put up with you because, he's been in the league forever. Back for his days playing with Philadelphia and everything.
Sounds like Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, so he's more of a hard knock coach. He's not.
Boy,
he ain't got to put up with any of their bullshit.
Ryan's up next.
And then the man he replaced, Sheldon Keefe, he goes to New Jersey to be their new head coach. Which, Toronto in his tenure was, I think, the highest scoring team in the league over that period. And they got good, skilled players in New Jersey, but at the end of the day, you still got to play defense. New Jersey only had 81 points this year, so that's like less than a point a game.
Yeah.
So
that's not good.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many goals they've given up.
That is not good.
But then also the one other one, was it Jim? I think I wrote it down. Yeah, Jim Hillier. He was the interim coach for the LA Kings. They removed the interim status and brought him on, made him the coach. And then Ryan McDonough, I want to say he got traded from Nashville back to Tampa for like a 24 sixth round pick and 25 second round maybe. So yeah, that's the loose change for now. And I did see, I think they're having the World Championships right now. So a lot of these guys that got eliminated from the playoffs, like Pasternak is already over there playing.
Right.
And I want to say, was it the Czechs beat the United States today?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say that they, I think it was that they played Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
And they got beat. Canada did win. And I think that's to get into the semis.
Gotcha.
So I think they Sunday, I think, is the final. The like bronze medal game and the gold medal game. But yep, that's pretty much all I got until we get a couple more of these games in.
Yeah.
He's Dan K.
Hey, I got a question before we wrap up the NHL.
Right.
Hey Dan, who is the sexy pick for the NHL finals? If this was like how these other sports heads, how they talk about, who's the better matchup for the fans, blah blah, who would you pick?
I would say they'd probably go with Edmonton, because you got McDavid and Draisaitl. They're big draws and stars in the league coming out of the West. And then I would definitely look, no offense, Ryan, but
no offense taken, bro.
you got MSG in the Stanley Cup Finals, or you got Florida. I mean, the better story and all that I think would be those two teams. Yeah, the best storylines and venue. Because like Edmonton is so far freaking north, I think. Like their ice is always one of the best in the league. So this time of the year, Florida, I would when they get back to Florida, you watch how the game's played and see how bouncy and hard to handle the puck is. Because they're going to do their best to keep the humidity down or whatever, but everybody coming in, letting all that heat in, you'll be able to tell the difference. Yeah, in the two different ice surfaces, and even New York, for that matter, too, is probably that way too.
Gotcha. Dan, appreciate you, man. As always, man. I thought we did give you some applause, but he had another question, man. Hey, let's move to Ryan, the NBA, WNBA contributor. Ryan, we got a lot to get into. We are going to probably go over tonight. So those that are watching, hey, just hang out with us because there's a lot to get into. I had some questions, but I'll let Ryan take it away, and then I'll dive into with my questions too. Ryan D'Souza, go ahead, my brother.
Well, obviously, we got the Final Four. We have Indiana Pacers versus Boston Celtics. Indiana had the game won in game one, and made some bonehead,
should have won
childish, immature mistakes like basketball 101. Things that you should never do. The coaches made some. Rick Carlisle, should have called the timeout and moved the ball to midcourt so you had room. We all know you don't ever throw the ball to the opposing team's basket. I mean, it's just so many different ways it took Boston to win that game. And last night we had Dallas.
Good game.
Great game. Still in game one in Minnesota. Hey man, Luka and Kyrie showed out. And it looked like I don't want to make an excuse for them, but it looked like that game 7 really took a lot out of Minnesota. Ant-Man, didn't even he was taking more. He was on the perimeter the whole game, was shooting threes. He didn't get to the basket. So they looked a little. It looked like they ran out of gas. In that game. But kudos to Dallas. They kept putting the pressure on. Luka and Kyrie, man, is going to be a tough out, bro, because it looked like Kyrie is buying in. And I know we always talked about, the trades that Dallas made with getting Gafford and getting PJ Washington and Lively, the rookie center that he drafted. So they have lob threats, they have defensive players, and it just looked like a team that's bought in.
Right.
And say what you want, man. Minnesota going to a game 7 with Denver. That's going to take a lot out of you. You know what I mean? It's going to take a lot out of you, and it also, you knock out the world champions in a game 7 in Denver. I know we're not going to make excuses, but was that their championship? You know what I'm saying? You got to think of the mindset. Could that have been because
they're tired, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Kyrie Irving is the best player in the game. He's the best player remaining of all the teams.
I'd say he's the most clutch.
He's the most skilled, and he's the
definitely
best.
Most skilled. Yeah,
he's become a bigger leader than anyone thought he would be.
And he's playing defense.
Oh yeah, well he's a leader. He's leading the team with his actions, right? So last night, Luka said, "Yo, he's our leader." Beginning of the game, everybody else was off. He held them down the first half of the game. And what people don't see is that Anthony Edwards having to guard him is why in the fourth quarter, Anthony Edwards doesn't have any energy.
As heads shake.
Because,
yes.
And he kind of put that on himself after.
That's what he's supposed to.
Right, but you also
he's going to take the league.
But you also have to be smart because of what you said.
The coach has to be smart. You have to be an athlete.
Yeah,
the coach has to be smart.
No, absolutely. But there's got to be points where, okay, look, man, you can't keep chasing Kyrie around the whole game. We need you on the offensive end at some point. I know.
Edwards is not trying to hear that. That's to his credit.
That's
it's
to his credit. That's to his credit, DA.
That's on the coach to say, look,
Absolutely.
we're gonna let Connolly get something, but Connolly's getting cooked. Man, Connolly's he's older than Kyrie right now, so he's fried chicken. Yeah, he's chicken right now.
Right, but still, like I'm not saying he can't guard Kyrie, but not the whole game. You pick your spots.
And Kyrie's gonna make him work, even if he stops him. He's going to make the man work, and that's where you lose your legs by
pick
how
your
much
spots. Okay,
take
Kyrie in the last 5 minutes in the game when it's crunch time. Do that.
But if you do that, Kyrie will have 40. You know,
that's fine.
They got no other way to stop that.
Well,
man.
That's fine.
You can take your poison, but
yeah,
I agree with you. I just think that's a coaching decision. Like, so the player,
absolutely.
You know, if you're a real player, you're going to try to say, yo, I'm gonna take on all challenges, right? I'm addressing all drama, whatever needs to be done, I'll do it. The coach has to be the one to say, listen, man, if you're gonna go out there and they're shooting at you, you may want to put a bulletproof vest on. If not, you're gonna get your chest blowed up, right? So that's how that's supposed to go. Coach can make that decision.
Absolutely, you're correct, and not when you're the number one option. Your number one, they need you to score on the other end too. You chasing around, because I guarantee you, Kyrie's not guarding him.
No, he's guarding Connolly.
Exactly. So you have to be smart, man. You can't let your bravado get involved with playing the game smart at this point. I'm not saying he can't guard him, but guard him in crunch time, not through the whole game. Kyrie's too special, man.
He's the best skilled player in the game.
Eric, go ahead. We're shaking your head. Eric, go ahead.
Nah, I was just agreeing with everything that's been said, man. Hey, look, man. Anthony Edwards, you know, you was feeling all great and Gucci. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I got Kyrie. Okay, right. You don't think Kyrie heard you? He gave you that business. If I heard somebody, I don't remember. I heard somebody talking on the radio saying how if you look at Kyrie starting out in each game, he starts out slow and then he cooks. Kyrie heard Mr. Edwards and said, okay, I'm gonna start cook you from the gate.
Came out aggressive.
And honestly, that's exactly what Dallas needed, because he was basically the only one carrying the torch until everybody else started chiming in.
And then Luka closed it in crunch time.
Yeah. So I'm this is chess, not checkers.
Yes.
Both teams do have coaches. So I'm waiting to see what Minnesota will combat for game 2 and how they're going to play defense on those two superstars that they got in Dallas, because that's going to be key. You can't have your main guy. Yes, he's up for the challenge, but you can't have your main guy, like it's been said. You can't have your main guy guarding one of the best offensive players and offensive finishers we have ever seen. How tall is Kyrie? 6'2", 3, 1?
6'1", if that, bro. He's a little dude, man.
Bro, his left hand. Pause, but his left hand is ridiculous, B. But anyway, I say all that to say, and I want to give, even though this is just the first game of the conference finals, I want to give a big shout out to Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd has been somewhere everywhere, and I think there's a team out there in Milwaukee that wouldn't mind having him back at this point. But
oh no, they didn't think it was no.
Yeah, well,
they wouldn't mind having anybody in Milwaukee. So.
Yeah, that's it.
High school coaches take that job.
I was gonna say, like, this kind of reminds me of the NHL playoffs too, because Minnesota played the 7-game series. They were all invested in winning that series, and scheming to defend and whatever against a certain group of players. Whereas now, the way that they play the game is probably a bit different than the team previous. So it's more of like, okay, refocusing, getting I'm sure they're not going to say it, but I'm sure they were gassed a bit from playing game 7.
Right.
But I think it's just one like, okay, now it's like a new opponent where I know they have scouting reports and everything, but just like anything, the game is different.
Yeah. And then that team in Minnesota was built to beat Denver. They weren't built to beat Dallas. Now,
Yeah.
you got to play Dallas. You know, that's who's here.
Right.
You know, so job one is done. You know, you had the bigs that you needed to beat the Joker, and you did so. Now, different type of bigs. So that's man. Owners own, GMs, coaches coach, players play. If people don't take their job seriously and do what they're supposed to do, you're going to lose. So I coaches get, and we'll get to it. I guess Kevin, don't let me down. Boy Tibbs, we'll get to the whole coaching shit.
Yeah, we still on Tibbs. We still trying to kill Tibbs.
Oh yeah,
Ryan.
Oh yeah, I am.
Tibbs.
Ryan, it's never.
Ryan, we probably should have did something on Tuesday when this
you
game
should
was
just started there.
Poor Tibbs.
It's never going away, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan,
I see that.
We'll address this right now, and we'll get into.
Yeah. Let's start the way. Yeah, I got time, guys. I'm in no rush.
What did my dude say on Seinfeld? This is a Festivus. This is the airing of grievances right now. I'm doing my airing of grievances and Festivus for the rest of us. All right? This is my grievance, America. I go to work. So me and Kevin used to work in the mailroom, right? And we didn't have a boss that was a genius, and I won't disrespect the man. But if Kevin didn't come in and he had the 7th floor was his run, then the boss would just say, hey, yo, look, you two guys did split Kevin's runs. You do the AM runs. You do the afternoon runs. We good to go. He's out. You know, I got a plan in place just in case somebody doesn't come to work or can't come to work or something goes wrong. Somebody else should be able to come in here and just, boom, do the job, right? Take the mail to these people. Kevin's not here. These are people you take the mail to. Fine. So why in the FUCK do I have an NFL coach that's making $8-figure dollars and he doesn't have a plan for when players get hurt? Because players get hurt. It is going to happen. Whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. For $10 million a year, you need to have a plan for if all 5 of your dudes was in a car that went left instead of right and got caught up somewhere in Brooklyn and never made it to the game. You had to have a plan to put 5 dudes on the court to play. I've asked this question since I was an itty-bitty little boy. I'll bring my mother to the podcast one day. And she'll tell you, I say, hey, Mom, why are those guys on the bench getting paid and don't play? Right? So this is the short-sightedness of sports and the way people speak. They say that people are mad because Tibbs played his players too much. No. Nobody's really mad about that because they get paid to play 48 minutes, whatever it is, right? But what you're paid to do is when they go out, why is the 6'10" dude on the bench not playing? Why are we playing Precious at center at 6'6" and they got 2 7-footers on the court? Because you don't want to play Jericho Sims? Why don't you want to play Well, I don't trust him. I have this rotation. Fuck you and your rotation. If all of your centers are not there, you have to put one on the court. Somebody. Jericho Sims has hit his head on the backboard before. That's how high that boy jumps. You don't have to run. You don't have to run a play for him. Just run, rim, catch an alley-oop, do what you do.
And he has a high motor.
Why are you not playing? Why is Alec Burke going in there to play center? What the blank are we doing? Yes, listen. Julius Randle was hurt. We knew he was hurt. Bogdanovich got hurt. We knew he was hurt. Mitchell was hurt. We knew he was hurt.
Been hurt.
Been hurt. When he came back hurt. My point is, you have other dudes on your team that are getting a check, and you didn't want to put them in the game because you didn't prepare them. So, coach, that's your fucking fault.
It's true. You
that's all.
You got to empower your bench guys throughout the regular season. That's what Don Stanley did with her team, and LSU didn't do with her team.
And so this is what happens, and I'm gonna let you get to that because I'm not gonna go too much further on it. But my point is this, man.
It's a good point.
Everybody is upset that the Knicks got, that wasn't the reason they lost.
No,
the reason the Knicks lost is because we didn't have any bench management. Like you didn't want to go outside of your 6 or 7 man rotation. You could have had a star come off that bench. You never know until you try. Until you put the kid in there, you might put the kid in there. And remember, he's coming off your bench, so they're not scouting for him either. So there you go. The only one that could say anything would probably be Obi Toppin because he played on the team this year, and he could say, that kid can do this or he can do that. That's all. But, if we're going to play the same 5 guys, no matter the minutes, no matter the situation, no matter how much we're getting blown out in the last game of the season, where it's all or nothing, you play cats off the fucking street in that game if you can win, because it's all or nothing. But you know what we got out of you? $10 million. Oh, yes, supposed to be up for another contract. $10 million coach. You know what we got out of you? Nothing. So that's it for me, and I'm done.
And I'm just
go ahead,
very, very quick. I'm gonna be very, very quick. Kev, what's that? That app that we have that you go to the website and it'll tell you exactly who said what?
Oh, Twinbox. Yes,
Twinbox. Thank you.
Go to our website. Please. Scroll down at the bottom.
Please.
Twinbox. Go ahead.
Scroll down at the bottom of that shit there.
I'm gonna pull it up
and type in what the angry man told y'all all season about this guy. What he told y'all last off season about this guy. You brought in this one. You brought in that one. Yo, E, what you think? Angry man, what you think? Did we trade the coach? Do we still have the coach? I told y'all. Maybe y'all odds was fuzzy. I don't know. This is what he did in Chicago. This is what he did in Minnesota. You're not going to tell me that he did not have players there either. Okay? What y'all tell me? Oh, yo, E, you tripping. Yo, E, he got a bench now. Yo, E, yo, E, yo, E. Yo, fellas, I told y'all, and I'm not even the guy to say that I told you, but I told you. No, I didn't tell you. History told y'all that this was going to happen. Okay? Tibbs runs his own show the way that he sees fit. It's great for the regular season. It looks actually damn good. I will dare say that the Knicks look better this year than they have in a very long time without Randle. However, this is playoff basketball.
Oh, Eric is saying something. Let me read it. What did you say? In this episode, provided there were as New York Knicks thus discuss the main focus of performance and strategies of the Knicks players' attitudes and comparison with legendary basketball coach Angry Man. The regular address the episode shared. However, I guess I need to ask it a little bit better. This wasn't a good thing, but I promise you, he did say it.
I've been saying it since 5 years ago.
Yeah, I guess I need to ask it a little bit better. But go ahead, E.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll remind y'all. Yo, man, this is what the man does. Again, hats off to the New York Knicks and Tom Thibodeau for a great year. You had MSG buzzing once again for the basketball side of things. I salute y'all. But I told y'all this was going to happen, and damn it if it didn't happen. I don't understand how it's one thing to have all guys at your disposal, like the DA said. all guys at your disposal, and you just play your 8 or 9 or whatever. There's a lot of coaches that does that. Right?
Okay, E, let me interrupt you. I got it right this time. Coach Tibbs' decision not to play the bench players seems to be rooted in his coaching philosophy and strategy, which tends to favor a shorter rotation from discussions on the Sports Chasers podcast. It is clear that Tibbs has a preference for leaning heavily on a core group of players he trusts, which he can lead to more limited use of the bench. This approach, while effective for ensuring his top players are on the floor for the majority of the game, has been critiqued for potentially overburdening these players, leading to concerns about fatigue and injury risks, especially notable by the time playoffs roll around. The podcast episode highlights Tibbs' coaching style, including his tendency to rely on the tight rotation, which in the view maximizes the team's performance and cohesion. However, this strategy has been a point of contention and debate among fans and analysts alike. For instance, during the episode of NBA trade deadlines, winners and losers, the discussion touched upon how the Knicks' depth could be a significant advantage, suggested that more extensive utilization of the bench could prevent players burnout and contribute to more dynamic and unpredictable team strategy. That straight from the Sports Chasers.
Is there an echo?
No.
I could have sworn I just heard that.
I would drop my mic, but I need it for the rest of the show.
That was impressive. That was impressive.
Go ahead, Ryan. I mean, Eric, if you're finished, man. But I'll just add that as a Knicks fan, yes, I'm definitely disappointed. The DA, and I'm not gonna belabor the point. E made some good points. So did Twin Box. And hey, I don't know where the Knicks go from here. Because they're gonna probably re-up his contract or whatever, and I don't know if he's gonna change his coaching philosophy. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, E. I'm sorry, E. You wanted to finish up.
Oh, no, I'm done. Twin Box did it for me. I just wanted to. That's all I got, man. I give it back to Ryan. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike
to next year. Another second or third round knockout. It is what it is, man. Y'all be
shout
safe.
Shout out to Miss Harden. Shout out to Debbie. Shout out to Moms. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna ask, who's the Minnesota or Milwaukee coach?
Who's the Milwaukee coach?
Yeah, I got.
Glenn.
Doc, yeah, bring him in.
Don't want him in there. Well, they actually went well together because that's the only time that Tibbs won a championship was he's on the bench for Doc. But reality is, there has to be someone in that organization to say, "Hey, we love what you do. We love the Villanova boys. We love the way that's going down, but we have to make a few adjustments." That's all.
I mean, why dress him if you're not going to play him?
There you go.
Ryan, I will ask. Let me go ahead, Ryan.
I mean, my only problem with Tibbs is okay. If he has a short rotation, fine. I don't mind that. But damn it, when you're up 20 points in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left, your starters should not be in the game. Give those other guys some time who doesn't play in the game. If you don't want to give them crucial minutes, I've seen him when he's up 20 and Brunson's in the game. Randall, that's when Randall got hurt against the Heat. They were up by 15 points. But now Randall's got to have some awareness too that you just can't, you're up 15. Why are you driving so hard to the basket? You know what I'm saying? Just run the clock out, dude. Like, so you can't, you can have a small rotation of the guys you like, but when the game is out of reach, you got to get them out the game, man. That's the only thing I would say about Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind the short rotation. Don't mind that. But when you're up and you know the game is out of hand, don't have your starters who just played the whole damn game still in the game. Doesn't make any sense.
Ryan, 2 questions from me before we as we move on.
Yeah.
Coaching. Cleveland decided to part ways with
I don't get that.
Bickerstaff.
JB Bickerstaff. Yeah.
Bickerstaff. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, this was his 5th season.
Yep.
All right, his 5th season. He's made the playoffs the last 2 seasons. You know, they were awful. You know, when they brought him in, you know, they were in rebuilding.
Correct.
So you're telling me this guy you're rebuilding with a team. You got to the 4th seed, and you fired a guy,
and your big man was hurt.
and right, yeah. What
I don't understand that.
Like Allen's hurt. Like, how do why do you fire the guy unless we know the NBA is driven by the star players on the team. We know that. So unless Mitchell said, "Hey, I'm not resigning if he's back," unless that happened. I'm not saying it happened, but why would, if you're trying to have some cohesion and you're having and building your franchise with a team, why are you firing a guy that just went to the 4th round?
I don't think Spider's coming back.
That's a Cleveland thing, I think.
I mean,
Football
LeBron,
team.
yeah, like
Same thing.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Could it be that a particular player is coming back and is going to bring his own coaching staff?
No.
Oh,
And his kid?
No, he's not leaving LA.
Bring your kid to work day. Bring your kid to work season.
Unless he knows he's retiring that season, that's his last season. Maybe.
Bring your kid to work season.
I would not be surprised. Just like I said, I would not be surprised if Minnesota would beat Denver. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, people say, I'm gonna just say this real quick. People say, "Oh, he's not gonna leave LA." I get that, but let's be clear. You're not. Even if he was to go to Cleveland, that's 41 home games. Load management, that's probably about 30 home games. And we know that he's not going to stay in Cleveland the whole times. And it's not like it's not like this season is like a whole year. So it can be done if he wanted to be done. That's all I'll say.
No.
I don't think that he's leaving.
Yeah.
But that possibility is still very strong.
Well, I will tell you this. I like that Cleveland roster better than I like the Lakers roster.
Oh yeah, that's
I will say that. So like I just don't get it, man. Like you want to build a culture and then you get rid of guys. Now I did hear something about the players saying that they don't know why they do certain things in practice. And
that sounds like another coach. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah. But I did hear that. You know what I'm saying? With JB Bickerstaff. So I don't know. I guess players weren't feeling them, man.
We're talking about practice.
Right.
Not the game. Not the game. Practice.
Not the game.
Oh, hey, the Chicago Sky just beat the New York Liberty.
Wow.
In New York.
That's their first loss, right?
Yeah, first loss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of WNBA, before I go to the WNBA.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, you're good. Real quick. Want to double back to the Nuggets real quick. What do they do to retool for next year?
They got to strengthen their bench.
Yeah.
Because I know DA's mentioned it. The angry ones mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? They lost Jeff Green, Bruce Brown. And then what's his name? Ryan Braun, what
Ryan Braun.
he didn't really take that step they thought he was going to take. Yeah, I mean he played okay, but they needed more out of him. So they need to get a stronger bench.
Right.
Who that can be, we'll see. There's some good free agents out there. It's not going to be anybody, like one of the top guys or anything like that. But so just strengthening their bench, I think they'll be fine, man. Yeah, the Nuggets not going anywhere. The Joker's young, Murray's young.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere, man. They'll probably be back next year.
Gotcha. WNBA, what you got for the WNBA?
Well, WNBA, we got the charter flights. Kudos to Caitlin Clark getting all the charter flights.
Stepping stones.
Stepping stones. And I say it with the quotation marks because there seem to be a little not jealousy. Well, you know what? Yeah, jealousy.
Nah, call it what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I mean, dude, she just signed a $28 million deal with Nike, right? And then I don't know if you guys heard about what happened with the LA the Las Vegas Aces, they got a
100,000 from the
a piece. So $1.2 million from the
tourism,
yes, the tourism, the Vegas tourism. So so what they did, they didn't sponsor the Las Vegas Aces. They gave the sponsorship to each individual player, because you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't sponsor a sponsor can't sponsor a team and give the team money. You see what I'm saying? Because now that goes against a collective bargaining agreement. Now everybody has to share that, right? Whereas the owner, Mr. Davis, came out and said, "Wait a minute, you guys are," he was very upset because they said they were going to do an investigation. He's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean investigation? They're each giving our players $100,000 each, not the team, the player." Now you want to call a loophole? Call it a loophole. What's the difference? What's the difference of Caitlin Clark getting $28 million from Nike, who has stakes in the WNBA? I didn't know if y'all knew that. Nike has stakes in the WNBA, and they gave Caitlin Clark $28 million shoe deal.
Got him.
So they're like, so he's like, so what's the difference here? Why are you investigating us for 1.2 million that was giving? Because what they did was they didn't negotiate the deal with the Las Vegas Aces. They went to each individual player's agent and did the deal, which was smart. So now they can't do nothing. Smart. So we have that. We have Caitlin Clark. She's actually putting up good numbers, still a lot of turnovers, but they lost a nail biter
last night.
Last night. And they're 0-4. But guys, they were the worst. They've been the worst team for the last 3 years. It's gonna take time.
Rookie.
Exactly.
It'll be okay.
Right. But see what it is, the angry one, what it is, yes. And what people are saying is, well, you can't have it both ways. You can't give her everything and say she's this and that, but then when she struggles, she's just a rookie. So that's where the problem lies, in my opinion. On the worst
team. She was leading scorer last night.
No, but she got put on the worst team.
Right.
What more can she do?
No, well, she can stop turning the ball over. That's for one.
She'll get better at that.
Here's the thing: maybe her teammates can make a layup.
Well, or maybe she can give a better pass, because I seen where. Well, how about this on the inbounds pass? She's the one who turned the ball over and fumbled the ball.
I got you there, but I've watched all 5 of her games.
Right, but what
all can get better.
But what I'm saying is, Dan,
rookie.
Right, but what I'm saying is, guys, it's you can't highlight everybody else's mistakes, but not hers.
No. She's turning the ball over.
And that's what people are doing. They're like Aaliyah Boston is getting death threats because she missed the layup in that last game. And I'm like, come on, guys. Come on. What's happening is
the wrong people are watching the fucking sport if you're getting death threats for a layup.
But where the frustration is like, okay, you're calling out all the other players when they do something bad, right? Or make a mistake. But when she makes a mistake, she had to 10 and again, she's a rookie. I get it. But you can't praise her when she plays good, but don't criticize her when she plays bad.
Oh, the first
we can do all of that here. We're not talking about these other people.
That's where the frustration comes in. For instance, the frustration is like Asia Wilson just got a shoe deal when she's been winning MVPs, finals MVPs. She just got a shoe deal. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand it. I can understand that, but you also have to be smart. If the numbers are what the numbers are, DA, you always say this: the numbers are the numbers. If people are watching her, then you got to capitalize on it. So I understand that, but that's where the frustration is coming in, Dan.
You got to remember. It's very. I'm sorry, Dan.
You're good.
I'll be real short. It's this is new.
And she's
for the
playing
league
fantastic, in my opinion. Yeah.
This is new for the sport. You know, as far as having a mega star in a while, they haven't had one in a while.
Right.
Belladonna was not that big as far as she's a great player, of course, but
and she was
wasn't
always
that
hurt.
big as far as as far as Caitlin is concerned. Yes, I do agree with you that ESPN, Fox Sports, they're all going to do it wrong. They are, because they're just going to talk about her and not talk about the rest of the team, right? And that is going to always get folks a little riled up, especially if you're playing, you're out there busting your ass, right? But, we just have to say to the other athletes, just be patient and understand that, ESPN and these other shows are always going to have it wrong.
And
they got the little guy. They got the little guy in their ear telling them what to talk about. So
and to Caitlin's Clark credit, she does say, "Hey, we need to highlight other players as well." She does say that. She does. You know what I'm saying? She's more critical on herself than we are of her. She's like, "Look, I gotta stop turning the ball over. I gotta make better passes." So I'm not blaming her in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and tell you how it's looking from the other side with other players. When they mess up, it's bad. When she messes up, it's their fault. You know what I'm saying?
That also happens with other great players in other leagues. But I'm gonna just shut up on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think it's sports media. And the athletes need to understand that sports media is always going to take things too far.
But I will say this. Do I believe in? Do I agree with some of this stuff? No. But what do we always say about media and stuff like that and attention? Even when it's bad attention, it's attention. It's good. Yeah. Controversy is good for the league. And not only that, Caitlin is very charismatic, man. She plays hard. You know what I'm saying? She's hyping up the crowd. You know what I'm saying? She's very charismatic on the court. So and also too, she's a smaller guard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's 6 foot, but it's the Steph Curry situation. Where regular people can see themselves, okay, I can be Steph Curry because I'm not that tall, but I can try to shoot. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a marketing thing. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
I love it that it's controversy because that's good for the league. Now getting death threats and all that stuff, come on, man. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? The girl didn't want to miss the layup. She tried and she tricked the layup. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, let me just say this real quick, Kev.
Good show.
Back off of what Ryan just said, though, about controversy. It only works for some, because we all know in some form or fashion, the WNBA has been in controversy over several years now.
Of course.
And it's only because of this shining star that they're getting the attention that they're getting. Right or wrong, however you feel about what I just said, it's reality. That's all it is. You can love it, you can hate it. It's reality, folks. Mm-hmm. So take it with what you will. All I will say is to all the players, chill out. You have an opportunity. Don't hate on the opportunity that you have, regardless if you deserved it beforehand or not. Take it now while it's there before it's gone again.
It's just the perfect storm. It's not her fault. Clark. It's not Caitlin Clark's fault. It's
here's the thing.
Storm.
Here's the thing. It's just like anything. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody used to watch tennis. Yeah. Now what's the hot thing? Fucking pickleball. Right? She's she's the pickleball of tennis. She and Brink and who's the other one? Angel Reese, Cardoza. These girls, they're playing in college, brought more eyeballs to the Final Four and everything else. Absolutely. And they're all coming in as a collective group. So guess what? They're going to get shit that people have been there for 10 years that they're not going to get, regardless of what they want or whatever, because the marketing people are like, yo, these girls, people know who they are. and they know what they represent, and they know what the numbers they bring. So nobody mentioned that she also Caitlin signed with Wilson Basketballs.
Wilson Basketball.
So she don't need the money from the game. She's making her money.
Right.
But the advertisers in the league is going to be so much stronger because all these people are buying in and trying to get endorsements with this, which only puts more eyeballs on the league. So yes,
right.
Some people deserve to have the stuff that is coming these ladies' way, because even some of the other ones are getting endorsements deals, but it's right time, right place,
perfect storm.
And now this can blow the league up to where you already got more expansion teams coming. There's going to be more than 144 players in the league.
Right.
So it's better for them and longevity and being able to be on a roster to be able to play the game that they love. So I saw it was a Stewart from New York when they played him the other night. And she's like, hey, look, we appreciate everything she's doing and bringing the eyeballs to the game. And collectively, as a whole in this league, the 144, we all need to do our part to lift the league up. And she's right. They got to put the best talent on the floor every night to entertain the crowds. Because if you look where the Fever have played away games, they've sold out every arena.
Yeah, she's a rock star, bro. She's a rock star. So you have to capitalize on that.
And for her. Yeah, she sucked ass the first game with 10 turnovers. Like, she broke a record.
Yeah.
For being the worst turnover margin for a rookie or whatever. But she came back. Yeah. Now last game she only had 3 turnovers. So they're cleaning that up. The one thing I've noticed, because I've watched basically all 5 of their games, is if you watch them opposed to the teams that they're playing, like New York absolutely drubbed them.
Well,
as far as offensive. Like
Dan,
they stand around way too much.
Right, real quick, Dan, and not only that, I said it before last time. The league didn't do Caitlin or no favors by scheduling back-to-back games against the 2 best defensive teams in the league. You played Connecticut back-to-back and New York back-to-back. Look, like what is that? You know what I'm saying? You knew once Indiana got the number 1 pick, you knew that Caitlin was going there.
Yeah, you knew.
And know how to finagle the schedule to I'm against 2 teams that was in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Final Four playing for for the rights to go to the championship.
They was gambling on her catching lightning in a bottle. What would think about what would have been said if she was both those teams for 40 points each? That's the flip side of that.
Angry one, I didn't even think about it like that. Angry one.
They were rolling the dice.
That's what
they were rolling the dice and said, "Look, she just demolished the whether she won or lost. If she would have put up fantastic stats, they'd have been like, look what she did against the best team, the best defensive team. Man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's all about the money, brother. It's all about the money, brothers.
Yep.
So
Dan, the folks are saying that you should be a WNBA contributor.
Yeah, you need to be.
There you go.
Yeah, Dan.
Hey,
up that mantle, baby.
Dan was cooking tonight on this WNBA news.
I actually watched this stuff. I don't watch the NBA.
Don DeMarco.
No,
I'm telling you right now. I can tell you. Back when I was probably 18 or 19, we would go to the beach like senior week after high school, and this is how bad the playoffs have gotten. When we were there for senior week, the week after high school graduates got out, that's when the NBA finals were. And every year we'd watch the NBA finals, and that's all the basketball I'd watch all year.
Just the finals.
Yep, we watched the final game.
The finals goes on for like 8 months now, so
that's just like hockey. They're playing in July. I mean, it's dumb.
Everybody's trying to grab those out, but we'll talk about that another time.
Maximize the calendar. Let me put a little bow on this about this WNBA talk. Real great discussion tonight on the WNBA. For what it is, embrace Caitlin Clark. She can play. It's going to take some time. I'm with Ryan. The league didn't do her no favors. Go ahead, Ryan.
but embrace the other girls too. Embrace Angel Reese because she's balling, bro. She just balled tonight against the Liberty. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, embrace Brink, embrace Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. Camilla they announced that Camilla's gonna come back June 1st against Caitlin. So it's gonna be Indiana and Chicago, and that's gonna be her first game in the WNBA. So
think of this. Yeah. Think of this too. Mm-hmm. Beckers is gonna be out next year.
Oh, Paige. Yeah,
she's gonna go to one of the expansion teams. Mm-hmm. And then what's the Juju? You know,
no, Juju can't come out yet.
She's only sophomore, ain't she?
Juju can't come out yet. No,
you gotta be a junior.
No, you gotta be a senior.
The word, I didn't know that. Okay.
No, you gotta. Yeah. You gotta finish college. You can't have.
And that's I think like the good thing about this league is like they're getting on the shine now. Because of those 4 that got drafted, and next year, there's going to be even better players coming out. Yeah.
But see,
to improve that league.
But here's the reason why, Dan, because a lot of there's more people watching women's college basketball now. Back then, nobody watched women's college basketball, so you didn't know who was coming to WNBA. Yeah, you knew your Rebecca Lobos, your Candace Park, you knew the stars, but there were so many other gifted players. You're only watching them. And not only that, you didn't have access to watch a lot of women's basketball. It was never televised. You know what I'm saying? It was just Connecticut and Tennessee.
Tennessee.
You know what I'm saying? So,
USC.
So now
UCLA,
right. And now you got UConn. Now you got South Carolina, who's a dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Now you got UCLA. Right. Now you got Texas.
Dame had their years.
Right. And not only that, too, now you have the transfer portal. Now, teams are getting stacked, and you're doing that. So now it's and now you have social media. So now it's
a bigger thing,
right? And I'm going to say it. I know a lot of people not gonna like what I'm saying. I'm not gonna mean to offend anybody or anything like that.
Trigger warning.
But the league has got very feminine. More femininity in the league. It's just
what it is. We're gonna drop that because I don't want to go no further on that one.
I'm just saying.
You're right. You're right. But
I'm right. I mean,
because the marketing, they're being very serious about what they're marketing.
Skims right is Skims the women's clothing line, underwear line. They have commercials now. You know what I'm saying? So.
Glad they got sponsorship, but really, did they have to go there? Like,
why? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, they got.
Didn't Michael Jordan do boxers and all that crap? Why they can't do underwear?
This is the reality of it. Is that I don't want to say the opposite of the femininity.
Nope.
It's still there.
I'm just saying that. No, what I'm saying is that
you have more straight women now.
That did not help. It needs both. For
it
to fully grow, because that's what you have in the league.
Yes.
Yes.
You just don't want people to think female basketball players are this because
they're just that. Because they're not.
Can be a lot of different things.
Right. Exactly.
You want some diversity.
Diversity is always good, man.
Diversity is definitely good. I'll say this little personal note, and then we'll get out of here because great show tonight. Ryan came on the show probably about 2 years ago. And I got Ryan to do NBA talk, and he talked about WNBA. I'm not gonna lie to you, I hadn't watched the WNBA in years. Last time I probably watched it, I think I gave this personal account when Teaspoon hit that midcourt thing. He probably remember he was at a house in Brooklyn. We were screaming for the Liberty, and that was probably there you go. That was back in 96, 97. It's been a long time, and then I've pretty much checked out to it and. Ryan kept coming on because, hey, check out the WNBA, check out women's college basketball.
I've been on it, man.
And to Ryan's credit, I've been checking it out. So salute to the ladies, both in college and the WNBA, man. For putting some eyes in the seats, as Dan always says, you putting some eyeballs on the product. That's all you want at the end of the day. You don't want to talk about all the other stuff. Let's talk about what's on the court, and that's why we're here. I'm so glad this show went 2 hours tonight. But hey, we don't care. We're the Sports Chasers. That's what we do. Hey, parting shots. I'm gonna start with the DA because he's got something really good to say, and I bet you is don't do drugs.
I'm going to sleep and don't do drugs.
Okay.
What the hell
Going to
is this?
sleep. Don't do drugs.
I'm tired.
Yes. Thank you, DA. That's why I got to you first before you fade out on us. The angry one, what you got for us tonight, bro?
Yo, man, great show as always.
Great show, man.
Great show. Good to see yo, Dan. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Good to see you, bro.
Dan.
DA, Ryan, my man, talking
Yo.
about the WNBA, man. Hey, man, yeah, I'll talk to you later because I got a question about Diana Taurasi, but we'll save it for another.
Yeah.
It might be time for a farewell tour. But anyway,
Wow.
yo, man, shout out to D-Dub, shout out to our super producer, shout out to Mike Mills. Yo, shout out to everybody that's watching in the comments everywhere, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Yo, man, everybody just be safe, man. It's Memorial weekend coming up, man. If y'all out traveling or whatever, or even if you're just staying in the bed, man, just be safe, man. That first step out the bed when you had too much to drink could be massive, man. That Achilles rehab, if you're not Adrian Peterson, could be crazy.
I had it. I tore my Achilles. Oh, don't mention that.
See, Ryan can tell you all about it, man. Don't do it. But nah, all jokes aside, man, everybody be safe, man. And y'all be good, man. Take care of one another, and we'll take care of each other. Let's do it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We got Dan K, the NHL. He's a hockey dude. Do we have to start calling him the WNBA dude? Because he was on it tonight, boy. Dan, what you got for us before we go?
Oh, right. Just, to touch on that point, Minnesota and Connecticut. Connecticut's up 1 with 7.4 seconds left in overtime. And the Minnesota girl, Miss Collier, I'm not sure who's guarding her for Connecticut, but she got 31 points. She's tearing them up.
Oh, she's dead nice.
Yeah, she's tearing them up. And
she's actually my pick for MVP this season.
Wow.
Nafisa Collier.
Yeah, she's lighting it up. Dallas and Edmonton are starting the second period 0-0. So, we'll see how this game goes. But shout out to everybody that's here. Ryan, E, DA, Kev, and D-Dubs. I hope you're feeling well. I don't know if you lost your singing voice because I didn't hear shit the other night, which was nice. But yeah, we'll have some fun with this Ranger series, buddy. And Mikey and our super dad producer. Hope everything's going well with the kiddo. Everybody be safe this weekend and take care.
Got you. Boston's leading Indiana 59-52 here in the third. Ryan, my main man, Ryan, the NBA guy and our NBA guy, Party Shots. What you got for us tonight, bro? Before we get out of here.
Hey, thank you for having me, fellas. Keep watching the playoffs. WNBA regular season's here. It's good basketball. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the job that you guys always do. Thank you to the listeners, everybody, checking in. D-Dubs, get healthy. All right. Respect to y'all.
Appreciate that, man. Shout out to all that is listening tonight. We saw Miss Hart in the comments, Debbie in the comments, my sister Val. Shout out to my sister Val. My moms, some other folks. Shout out to East Coast Gridiron, my man Deontay. They was in the comments tonight, man. A couple other people's, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, all is 1-0 now. So yep, 1-0. So we got that, man. But hey, it's been a really good show. Like I said, we rocked on for 2 hours. I think this is probably the longest show that we ever had, man. But it was great, good content, great content, man. Hey, I'm not gonna belabor the point. Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend, as Dan said. As E said, be safe, doing whatever you do, barbecuing, watching Fleet Week. To all my peoples up in New York, just be safe, man. Just be safe. Just be safe. If you're doing fireworks, have a professional do it. Don't you do it because it's not good. So. On that note, on behalf of myself, for Kevin O. Warren, your host and moderator, for Dan K, the hockey dude, and the WNBA dude, I guess now, for the DA, who's sleepy, for Ryan D'Souza, our NBA contributor and insider and WNBA guy, also for James, the angry one, for Dow D-Dubs in his absence, for Mike Mills, and for our super producer, man. Yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good, be great. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, man. Until the next time, we'll see y'all later. Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.